Hi, it was maybe about 4 months ago that I made a video about how you can share folders between devices using Syncthing, and I demonstrated it and showed how you could set it up and everything using my PC, and I used a couple of Raspberry Pis. I think it was Pi 3 and a Pi 5. But really what I wanted to do with it was to use it on my Uno Q, because AppLab's a bit of a pain in my opinion, and if you want to transfer things around, you have to use SCP to transfer files or do export and import and things like that. So I wanted to see if I could use Syncthing. So this is just a quick recap as to what I've got going at the moment. So this on the left is my VNC window, which is connected to my Raspberry Pi 3. So I'll just go into the Raspberry thingy, internet, and I'll start Syncthing. Yep. And that means Syncthing is running, but it's transparent. You can't see what's going on. If you want to see how everything's set up and everything, if you go into internet, Syncthing Web UI. And this is where you set up everything in the beginning. So I will get rid of that, and it defaults to being port 8384. You can change that if you wish, but that is your local 8384. And down here, that's the devices that I've connected to with my Pi 3, and here are the folders. So there it says bash scripts from Uno Q. So if you click on that, it says folder ID. I could have changed that to be something more meaningful, and it says it's connected to my Uno Q, and on the folder on the Pi 3 is home Pi thingy, documents, Uno Q stuff. So if we go into that, documents, I'll minimize that because we don't need that anymore, and go into that. As you can see, I'm playing around with bash at the moment. So if we go into my first one, which is not impressive, right, you can see I've got some lines in there. On my previous attempt to show this, so I'll just get rid of that lot and I will save it, and I will get out of it because I don't like to it makes it a bit complicated, because it's the last thing that was done that gets saved if you have it open on two devices, so it's overly complicated. Right, so that's the Raspberry Pi side. Over here I've got a putty window open on my Uno Q. Now I could have done it by opening AppLab and then down the bottom opening terminal window there, but I don't like AppLab, and it's just easier to show that you can do things. And I'll go ls, and yes, I'm in that directory that I'm sharing. So there you go, bash1, blah blah blah. And before you can do anything, you need to open Syncthing on your Uno Q. So I'll right click there, open another session, which is 192.168.1.8, log in as Arduino. There we are. And you don't have to be in that directory. You can that's just the home directory there. So here I'm just going to go start off Syncthing. I'm just going to type in Syncthing, and it's coming up with all sorts of errors. And if you look there, it says, is another Syncthing instance already running? Well, yes, it jolly well is, because I haven't worked out how to stop it. So unless you unplug your Ventuno Q, it's still running. So I will minimize that, and it hasn't done any harm. If it wasn't running, it would just start it running, and if it was running, it just tells you that it was running, if you know what I mean. So up here in I will try nano dash on there, and as you can see, before it actually had some lines in when I was over there, and I deleted them, and because I took so long, the lines have gone. So I'm using putty, and nano, I don't know why, when I go in via putty, it doesn't like up and down arrows, which is a bit annoying. But did I say you could go in via AppLab? Well, I can live with that anyway. So if I go to line 5, then I can just add a line to show you. Right, added from Ventuno Q. I will save that, get out of there. Now, I don't know how quickly it will do it. I'll go edit that one. Has it done it yet? Yeah, that is pretty damn quick. I am on the same network. It will work if you aren't on the same network, and it will work from the other side of the world. But it's just that it might be a bit slower. Well, definitely slow on my internet. So that is just what Syncthing will do. You don't use it as a backup. You can use it to help backing up, but if you change it on that one and you think, oh, I've got a backup on there, if you connect it, it will have trashed your other version on the thing. So that is just about what you can do with Syncthing. Now, if we go back onto the console thing, now, as I said before, that is your local what do you call it, IP address, and it's got a port of 8384, and that's fine if you go in via VNC, because that is the Raspberry Pi thing. But using the Ventuno Q, you can go in just plugging it into your PC, and then if you try and get into that local web page, it will be the PC one. So you cannot set up Syncthing on your Ventuno Q going in connected to your PC, and you can't do it if you do it remotely. The only way that you can get the right, that being the right page for your Ventuno Q, is to set it up by going in with your Ventuno Q set up as an SBC, which I couldn't do because I had problems with my power supply. It should have been good enough. I could plug in, I could run the Ventuno Q itself, but I couldn't use the powered hub. It just wasn't powerful enough, or yeah, the power supply plugged into the power hub, it wouldn't do it. So in order to set up your Ventuno Q, you have to make it set it up with your powered hub, plug in your monitor, plug in your keyboard and mouse and whatever, and set it up as I showed in my previous video, and then it works wonderfully. And unless you want to do more folder sharing or sharing with another device, then you need never touch that again, which is why I didn't have to do it on my Uno Q. Very muddled explanation, but if you watch my other video, probably you get even more muddled. So I will just pause that, and then I'll show that you can do it with a mobile phone, an iOS device, and mine is my iPhone, and with Android devices. So I'll just stop there and get my phone turned on. Oh, I was being a bit alarmist when I said that if you messed up a file on one device and then it would be messed up on the other device and you lost everything. That isn't exactly true, because now this is the shared directory on the Raspberry Pi, and if you go into edit up here, I did mention this in my other video, but I just thought I'd go into it very quickly. Right, there's file versioning, and at the moment I've got no file versioning, so if you mess it up, you mess it up, but that's because I'm not really using this in anger yet. But you can choose rubbish bin file versioning, which to Americans it means a trash can, which means you keep the last version that is in your rubbish bin. Or you can have simple file versioning, and you can clean out after 0 days, means you don't clean it out, I think, and it says how many versions you want to keep and where you put them and everything, and you just can play around with these things. And then staggered file versioning and things like that. But I just thought I would mention that because other people think, what a load of old rubbish, that when you lose it, you lose it. So I'm going to go and find my phone now. So I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but if I go onto App Store on my iPhone, and there we go, and I'll search for Syncthing, like that, and then it will give you various things that share, transfer files, Syncthing monitor, authenticator, but what I use is Synctrain, as you can see there. Obviously mine's out of date, it says update, but I won't do that now. So you can just download that, and I'll just show you what it does. It works in a very similar manner. That goes in, it says not connected. It connects to my Pi 5, which isn't around, and then you can go folders there, you can go devices, all of those, and that's about it for the iPhone. So you can just work out how to do it. It's pretty simple. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Right, I just want to show that you can do kind of the same thing using Android. This is Android Play Store. It's a very old Android tablet, and there we go. I've done a search for Syncthing, and there's a thing called Syncthing Fork that does about the same thing. So I installed that, and then what else do I have? Oh, that's Syncthing Fork itself, and I don't know if you can see, it says that the devices it's linked to are my Raspberry Pi 3 and my Raspberry Pi 5, and then the folder that it's linking is the test folder, documents, common files. Now I don't know if I'll be able to find that because I'm no good at Android, There's the File Explorer. Come on. File Explorer. Well, it should be somewhere there. Oh, that's taking too long. Right. So here we go on the Raspberry Pi 3. Oops, something's come up. We've got this Documents CliPad, and it's been shared with that. So if we go up to there, and there's a test clip, open it up, and there you can see I've been able to, I don't know why it says CliPad and it says CliPad. You can see that I've been able to run Syncthing even on an incredibly old Android tablet with my Raspberry Pi 3. So that's about all there is to say about it.